Uh, Hello everyone. Welcome back. I am back. It was a lot of stuff that was going on. Like everyone got like their personal issues and I certainly had mine. But fortunately, I have been able to still read a few webtoons and still try to catch back up because I kind of have a lot of reading to do. But this is life. I'm back on this channel. I looked at this channel and I saw that we've gotten some new subscribers, some new activity. I'm very happy about that. For all those who came on, let me tell you now, I'm going to change my name, so I don't even know what the name of this channel is going to be. But here I talk about webtoons and anime, and mainly webtoons, but stuff like that. I used to be very frequent on this channel until stuff happened. One of them I'll tell you was studying for the JLPT, which I ended up taking, which was super hard. Like if you're gonna take into, just know that like you should just not do that. It was darn near impossible. It's sad to say, but I gave it my all, so hopefully I'll get not too terrible results. But other than that, it was just a lot of other stuff that has been going on. So the past is the past. We're here for the future. Hopefully expect a lot of videos because I do plan on making tons and tons of video content, especially since it's the holidays. I have a little more time. I just want to make all those and share with you what's been going on, because also the webtoon world has completely changed as well. Like it's grew in its development. I can't wait to like talk about that in this video called the top 5 webtoons you should be reading and why. Because honestly, the pool of webtoons that we have this time, they're pretty amazing. But with that being said, again, we're back. Hopefully, let's get into the video. So the top 5 webtoons that you should be watching or reading. Some of these are kind of older, but I typically try to keep them newer. Now, let me explain. When I say newer, that means it's new to me because in the time period that I have been gone. So again, there might be some discrepancies. I know some of these webtoons have been talked about all over, just around the community and everything, but I just want to give you just my opinions about them. And these are definitely good reads, and I would definitely give them a shot. A lot of them are featured just because I feel like it's easier for new people to just get into, because those features are there for a reason. There are tons of good stuff on Discover, and honestly, for those who read Discover a lot, like that's kudos to you, because there's so much good stuff on Discover. If you are looking for something new, Discover is always your ideal place to go for new webtoon content. But with that being said, let's get into the first webtoon that I think that you should be reading, called April Flowers. Now, I've done a video about April Flowers, which hopefully I can find, and I'll leave it in the description below of this video. But April Flowers is basically about this girl named April, and she wants to become an exorcist. When she rooms with with another female, she's actually a half demon. Which, what's interesting about this is that April and others in her school are being trained to kill these demons, and hybrids are often looked at and shunned because people are afraid, because these demons have harmed human beings and they have killed people and they have done horrible things. So with April's new friend, and she's a hybrid, like she gets a lot of prejudice in the school because she's such a hybrid being. Also in this webtoon, April is considered abnormal because she has a high level of like magical energy that scares even the teachers themselves. So as this story really follows April trying to become an exorcist so she can live her dream of fame and fortune. But as all other stories, there's some trials to go along the way. What the main thing about this webtoon that sticks out is the artwork, and that's why I say it is a must read. Like the story really touches, like I'm a big fan of webtoons or anime or just whatever you would like that touches on like these themes of prejudice, like these really dark themes that are so true to like the actual world. And I really respect April Flowers for doing just that, because prejudice is very existent, especially those who are have. Like, it's true in the story, but it's also true in real life. And I like its approach. I like its take on it about how sometimes you just never fit in, or you have this one person, or you can't fight who you are. And it's really hard to go up against people such as that. Also, the good thing about the webtoon is the artwork. Now, I am one of those elitists that likes really good artwork, and I'm not saying that April Flowers doesn't have good artwork, but the artwork in April Flowers is very like, how to say, like free, which is good because I feel like it complements the story and it complements the themes very well. If and it wouldn't do that if the art style was something like very distinct or whatnot. I like the transformation of the characters though, because it also shows mood, it also shows feeling, it also shows passion. I like just either the chibi forms or the distorted figures, or sometimes just like these things of the artwork where you really just don't know what's really going on, and that's not really a bad thing about the webtoon. It actually really helps it, which makes me want to read it more, because it's really hard to communicate feeling on a piece of paper, and the author found that way by using their artwork and actually using their talent and what they can do, towards their advantage. If you were trying to make a webtoon and you were worried about your artwork or whatnot, not saying that the author's artwork is bad, but it shows you what you can do with your artwork, how you can have it communicate with your audience. So I definitely recommend that April Flowers is a must-read if you're looking for something new, or if you're looking for new art ideas. Like, this is definitely the webtoon that you need to be checking out. I mean, just good, and it's a good story. So yeah, let's go to number 4, which is It's a Good Day to Be a Dog. I think this is like older, maybe 2017, I hope. But A Good Day to Be a Dog is about a an older young lady who has troubles with dating. She's a school teacher. She's lived a normal life, but she has something unique that not many people have, and it affects her dating life. Every time if she kisses a guy, she turns into a dog. So the only way she can break that curse is if she kisses the same person as she's a dog. It happens every night at 12 o'clock, which is very unique. So what happened in this story was that her ancestors killed a god. I believe it was either a cat god. Yes, a cat god. And so as punishment for killing that deity, her whole generation was cursed to turn into a dog if they kissed the opposite sex. So this is why she has problems with dating, even though her life seems pretty normal and average. So one day, as she gets drunk, and she just really is fed up with her curse, so she kisses supposedly the guy of her dreams, but it turns out to be the guy that she thinks that hates her. And so she has to, in an attempt to try, when she becomes a dog, of course, and when she tries to kiss him as a dog, she finds that he's actually scared of dogs, which it's a webtoon that I haven't read recently, but there was hints that there's other reasons why he is not into dogs. But I'll leave that up for you to read. And so it's just this drama, lighthearted comedy about this girl trying to live with her curse that she placed upon herself, while trying to be friends with this guy that supposedly doesn't like dogs. And it's a very interesting dynamic. The reason why Good Day to Be a Dog is a must read is because, one, it's unique. I mean, it's not unique in the sense that it's unprecedented, but it's unique in terms of stories, especially in the webtoon world. I kind of like how it's basically a drama element, but it can kind of make you laugh, but not haha, but in a like what is going on type of aspect of the webtoon. Also, like I said, the artwork is pretty good, and I will harp artwork a lot in my reviews, just because artwork is so important with a media as growing as webtoons, as growing as comics, because a lot of people appeal towards artwork in their work, and I just feel like Like, if you can't sell someone with your artwork, then even if your story is good, maybe. But again, I could be wrong. But the artwork is actually pretty good. I like the colors, but it's a lot of psychological elements, and it's a take on a romance story that I haven't seen like as well, because there's hints that like the guy, I forget, and again I'm sorry for not remembering any of these people's names, that she likes, well, that she thinks hates her. There's evidence that he might like her, but she was into this other guy, and it becomes this weird like love triangle type of way, and now you're thinking maybe she'll go towards this guy, or maybe she'll change her feelings, like love stories. But there are many areas of suspense that in which the love story can be twisted, kind of like Let's Play, but Let's Play is directly like very aggressive towards its romance, its elements, and its triangles and situations. And The Good Day to Be a Dog is kind of lighthearted about it, but you can tell that it can get intense at certain points. And the element is about her being a dog. Also, just her being a dog is just funny because there's, I don't want to spoil it, but there's one scene that happens like in the earlier chapters, and she gets in a predicament and she doesn't know how to like really get out of it, because you can't really explain the details without A, telling your secret, or B, just ratting somebody out. But again, I want to keep it just in case you want to read it, but I definitely recommend that It's a Good Day to Be a Dog. I think that is an absolutely fantastic webtoon, and you definitely should give it a read. The third webtoon actually recently just came out, and I was just skimming along like what was new, because of course we haven't been here in a while, and this webtoon actually really sticks out to me. It's called Love, and I forgot it's an acronym for something like Love Under Finances and Family or something like that. So basically this is what the story is about. It's about a young girl, or maybe older, by the name of Beatrice. And Beatrice basically has worked really hard for her life, and she's worked really hard to get for her future, to get to where she is today, to succeed in her dreams, etc. There's one hindrance that gets in her way, which is love. She doesn't have a love score. A love score basically is a score that checks your compatibility with another person. So until you get and meet with your compatibility person that is based on your love score, you really can't do anything in their world. You can't get loans, you like all your GPA and stuff, because her GPA was perfect. All of that meant nothing unless she got into a relationship, which I find hilarious, and this may take a while, so I may leave a timestamp on why like this is like a definitely must read webtoon. So anywho, she can't get anything because of her without her love score, and it really irritates her because she's done everything else right, and she's not really interested in like love, especially love that is so forced, it's so generic, but they're forcing her, otherwise she can't do anything. So when she gets her love score, it's actually unprecedented, because not only is her love score is high, but she is compatible with two people with the exact same love score. So she basically broke their entire system. So when she realizes this, she decides that because she's fed up, she wants to break that system further, and basically has declared that she will meet both of those guys, date both of them, and find out the missing factor, thus hopefully challenging the system that has been there for more likely several years. This webtoon is harsh, and some people think it's cruel. Some people think it's like, we're glad we're not living in that society, but we're actually headed in that society so far. Not the United States, I feel, but other countries around the world, they're heading into this kind of love thing. Let's go to my favorite country, Japan. Japan is in a huge like population crisis. In a generation, it's rumored that they will be screwed, and a lot of other countries are there too. You can probably think off the top of your head. This, again, I don't want to harp on this, it's so true to life, but it is a possibility for our future, this love thing, to whereas in order to save our population, to save our human race, things like this may have to be in effect. Like we live in a generation of two factors. I feel it's the one generation that is wild and in love and wants all those things. But then you have that other generation, and that is myself, who's really just not into romance or not into love because you got other things to do with your life. And Japan, not to harp on it, is definitely this country where they just got a lot of stuff going on, and it's really hard to like love or be in romance. But this system is kind of the way to trying to get the world out of that kind of view, because other than that, the population is screwed. Like Beatrice is the primary example of not only with women but also guys too, who focus more about their lives rather than themselves, because honestly, in that case, as a person who's this way, it's just more important than focusing on the other stuff. But this is very, very, this can potentially happen in our society, and this is what made me want to read it. The one thing that I also don't like about it is that, what I like, what says that I don't like about the system, is the fact that you're forcing people to fall in love with one another, which can happen, which can happen, which actually goes to my number one. But it can happen, but at the same time, you have to understand that, like, if something is forced, because this actually happened to me, if something is forced, it's really hard to convince that person to even give that person a shot if you're trying to force a thing. And that's exactly what this is doing. That's exactly what other systems around the world do. And it's understandable, because you're trying to you're trying to make your society survive. But at the same time, it's kind of like, I can love who I love, So I understand the main character's gripe on this. I understand the whole society and the world, about this point. Also too, just, I don't know, like, the artwork seems to, it seems very unique to me personally, just because it's so like clear and it's so crisp. Like I couldn't believe how crisp when I first read the first three chapters. Like, it was absolutely amazing. Like the artist here has really, really good talent, and kudos to the author for just having amazing line work. Like, I mean, I just can't like stress it enough, like how good it is. But the one thing to take about Full Left is that it is kind of an apocalyptic society, something that is probably in our near future, and it shouldn't be written off, because this could possibly happen, which is why I'm so interested in reading it. But also too, it'd be interesting about how she single-handedly tries to change the whole system, being that she has this opportunity. So I'm really interested to see the character dynamics. I'm really interested to see all that's going to happen. But this is definitely a must read, and I recommend it to probably anyone. Let's go to number 2, which is True Beauty. I wasn't really interested in True Beauty until, honestly, I saw an ad about it. But honestly, I'm very hooked on True Beauty. True Beauty is about a girl who I believe is in high school, who is very nerdy, geek, average, etc. But after mastering the art of makeup, she's actually changed into a true beauty. And she basically lives this double life. And the story has basically been following her living this double life of her being a beauty in school, but also being a nerd at home. The reason why I like this webtoon is so bad, and it's because it's something that I've seen before. And don't get me wrong, just because and this is for your future, like, just because you make a concept that has probably been done before, doesn't mean that it's good. Even if you have a similar concept, your input on that concept is key to making it work. And True Beauty definitely does that. Because again, I've seen this concept before in several anime, in several manga that I've read. Like, this is nothing unique where someone is living a double life. On one end, they're like this nerd, and on the other end, they're like this really hot beauty. Shoot, Takana-kun's always listless. If you watch anime, that's a great anime to watch, by the way. Definitely shows like this point. But because it's so cliche, I feel like it's easier for the audience to get into, but it's also unique enough for it to stand out on its own, which is why at one point it's chopping the charts in Webtoons, in Webtoon dailies, because of how simple it is, but unique has to be. I feel like in this media, like how you can grasp people in three ways. Well, let's say two for this case, unless I forget the third way. The one way is being extremely unique but interesting, but two, being cliche but putting your spin on it, or three, just being direct and getting to the point from the very beginning. You know, these are three ways you can hook your audience into reading. And True Beauty just gets it in a way where it's very cliche, but it's also just interesting to see how this certain character was able to surpass all of this. And then on top of that, again, as I said, like, sorry, but like the artwork is very interesting, and the artwork is really good. And no, well, let's talk about the character dynamics. That's how I want to do it, because the character dynamics is pretty interesting, because the main character, she is conflicted on whether she wants to be a beauty or whether she wants to be herself. And it's this thing about self-worth and self-confidence, which I really love, and a lot of people, even myself, struggle with in daily lives. And you know, and just the interaction with the other characters, and you know, because it's the girls at school, they're jealous of her because of who she is, so they're trying to set her up. There's this guy character, which is a huge factor in the current, well, where I am in the current thing of the story, and it's just really, really interesting to see, like, just the dynamic. This is what I'm talking about. How you can make a cliche thing, but you can make it unique. And definitely True Beauty does that by its character dynamic and its formatting and its plot and its story. So, long story short, like, it's just a good webtoon, honestly. I don't really have many bad things or even many good things to say about it, because it's just a must read. Definitely, it's chopping the charts. Look at the ad, trailer, etc. Definitely give this webtoon a go. Now, finally, my favorite webtoon so far of the new ones that came out: Mage and the Magic Queen and the Demon Queen. Mage and the Demon Queen. This is like typically my favorite webtoon that is new that you definitely must read, and here's why. So here's why. As a person who is a huge romantic, and as a person who low-key dealt with this sort of thing before, I just sympathize with the main character, Mallory, and her attempts to sway the beautiful Demon Queen to take her and to care for her. I definitely sympathize with this 100%. And a lot of people do too, because it's just such a genuine emotion that she has. So, Mage and the Demon Queen is about a girl named Mallory. And basically, there's a ransom for the Demon Queen. I think her name is Valencia. And there's a ransom for her head. So there's been many people trying to get her head and to kill her for the money. But she's extremely strong. Mallory has climbed up the tower several times, because her goal is not to kill her. Her goal is to marry her. And basically, it's this story about her consistently trying to persuade the Demon Queen to at least take her as her bride. And she makes a vow that she will make her fall for her. And the Demon Queen is just like, this will not happen. But the Demon Queen admits that she reminds her of another human in her past. And we haven't revealed, because I'm actually up to date with this one too. I'm up to date. And we haven't really seen like what this human had to do, but it's made her doubtful about humans. Now let's get into why this webtoon is good, because there's many things that I need to say on this. I'll try to keep it as quick as possible. The one thing that I like about this is that, again, as I said, I sympathize with the main character, because in terms of coming with love, and this goes in a very philosophical thing, it really is about gaining that person's trust. And sometimes a lot of love, in my opinion, doesn't happen because it's a thing where it's like that person just doesn't trust the other person. And Mallory is not really trying to like wow her in this like romantic way. It's more about, trust me that I have your best interest at mind, and I really do like you, and I just want you to come to me type of thing. And that's basically been majority of these few arcs have been about. It's about her trying to gain the trust of the demon queen, just because that's really the foundation of just any relationship in general. It's just building that trust. Because if you don't have trust, you might as well just dump that relationship away, because if you can't trust the other person you're with, then it's just no point. And so I really like how her approach towards the demon queen has been, because she's just helplessly in love with her. And it's a secret, of course, because everyone wants to kill her. But at the same time, it's like, I want you to trust me. You know, I want you to know that I am there for you, that I'm not trying to kill you. I'm trying to basically want you to be more so we can do other things. Hint, hint. Another thing that's really good about the Mage and the Demon Queen is that no one cares that it's how to say it, it's LGBT. That's what I'm trying to say, LGBT. Like, no one cares, because and I really, and this is shout outs to the Webtoon community, that like we've evolved to the point where this doesn't matter. Like, even if it's LGBT like material, it's like no one cares. Like, it's genuinely a good, fun, lighthearted comedy about a person trying to woo another person. It doesn't matter about sex, race, age, or gender. Like, it just is about, and I'm glad that people can see this. It's just about this one girl trying to get someone that she likes, regardless of gender that they are. And honestly, it's just respectable, not only to the content creator, but it's also respectable to the community, because we're just enjoying the ride. And that's just a huge step up from even like a few years ago, where this type of thing wasn't even like acceptable. And the fact that we can even have it in like a webtoon, especially something as fun and interesting and unique as this, like, honestly, I just have no words to say. Like, it's just gratitude, because, you know, like, I have a lot of friends who are in that community, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I just love how it, even in the webtoon, it's being played as just nothing's wrong. It's normal because it should be normal. Like, you know, like, it's just a normal thing. It's about feelings. It's not about who you have feelings for. It's just this girl has feelings for another girl, and that's perfectly fine. But it's also just interesting, and it brings a new dynamic into the webtoon and into just like the community that like we pretty much rarely see. Now, granted, there are numerous of LGBT webtoons out there right now, but what I'm saying is that, like, what Mage and the Demon Queen does is that it normalizes it, but it normalizes to the point where even you don't really realize it until you just think about it, which is perfect. That is how you sell like your audience. Plus, on top of that, like, it's very comedical. Like, it's like, how would she do it now? What would she do next? And it's really a page turner. It's really a page turner of a webtoon, personally, because you just don't know what she's going to do. You don't know, is she going to be successful? You really don't know, like, these things. But it goes back down to the underlying factors, where it's that she likes this demon queen, but it's been so far about a battle of trust, which, again, that is just how you sell a webtoon. That is how you sell romance, because it's not even about the romantic part, and I will always say it's really about the trust. It's really about building something, and that's what she was trying to do from the very beginning. And it's also just fun that, like, everyone in her, the demon queen's generals, they're just like, man, we don't care anymore. Like, she can beat us time and time again. She just won't you. We just gonna do this. Like, you either gonna break down or push her away, she's gonna stop, etc., etc., etc. And so what will happen, we don't know. But is this a must read? Definitely. So if you're into, if you're looking something definitely to read, please give this webtoon a shot. All right, that is the end of my video. That is very long. You can skim like through all of this. Again, this is my first video coming back into making videos. Expect more videos to come. What do you think about these webtoons? If you watched and skimmed, what do you think about these videos, about the webtoons? Leave it in the comments below. Also leave a like and a heart, you know, to the content creators. It helps them out a lot. We've been doing good on that. With that being said, see you in the next video.